Existing technologies struggle to treat down to trace levels. 10 years ago, it wasn't possible to test for some of the substances we find in the water today, and not to the levels that we can now test for.
Previously, we didn't know that these chemicals were in the water because we couldn't detect them. Thankfully, we now have the equipment to be able to detect them, but not only that, NIEX can actually remove these chemicals down to parts per trillion. And this is a very exciting step in making the world a better, safer, more environmentally friendly place.
We've developed lots of new chemicals that are not always biodegradable. So these will pass through sewage works and then will be discharged to the environment. The problem we found as a society is that we'd never realised these chemicals were there because we didn't have the technology available to analyse down to the parts per million, then the parts per billion, and now we're at the parts per trillion level. And it's only when you're getting these improved analytical techniques can you develop processes that will actually remove them. So the NIEX system is one of those processes that is now available to take treatment levels down to the parts per trillion for toxic and hazardous chemicals.
So the benefits of the Arvia system is that we've combined two processes into one. By combining adsorption and oxidation, you lower the amount of energy required to oxidize organics in the water.
The NIEX grabs the pollutants in the water by an action called adsorption, and then the electric current that goes into the NIEX and the water causes something called electrochemical oxidation that destroys the organics on the surface of the NIEX. Simultaneously, these two processes happen simultaneously on the surface of the NIEX. We clear the water from these pollutants and we discharge the water clean.
As an operations specialist, the NIEX systems are much more attractive to me than an ozone system or a chemical dosing system. I just have to plug it in and run the system. There's a very limited amount of maintenance required, top-ups are minimal, as the system is self-cleaning.
Keeping it simple in wastewater treatment is always the best approach that you can use. Making it as easy to use without any moving parts in it is very helpful in terms of keeping a system maintenance-free without having too many problems. So
in NIEX process, you just need an electric current to destroy the pollutants on the surface of the NIEX. But in other oxidation processes, you will require lots of chemicals to be added, like chloride species, for example, or free chlorine or ozonation. But with the NIEX, you just pass electric current and it will do the job.
one interesting example that we have been involved with was a compound, a pesticide, oxidixyl, which was found in a reservoir of a water company. And it was one of these applications that they didn't realise it was a problem because they'd never looked for it. And oxidixyl hasn't been used in this particular part of the country for many years. It's used to control potato blight. We were able to both detect it at concentrations about 10 times the EU pesticide limit of 0.1 microgram per litre, and able to remove it down to below the required pesticide limit specified by the EU.
I would encourage any company in any industry to approach Arvia for a conversation. We have a team of experts here that are passionate about getting high quality wastewater. We have a database of experience where we've looked at a number of different micropollutants and organics, and we have evidence to prove that we can treat to very low levels.
Water recycling and reuse becoming a major part of sustainability nowadays. So zero liquid discharge is aiming simply to recycle and reuse water instead of disposing and discharging water to the environment.
NIEX can help achieve zero liquid discharge by removing organics down to extremely low levels that will allow the water to be reused again in many different processes. This could be used for a number of different purposes, such as boiler water, washdown water, CIP water. The possibilities are endless, really. As long as the water is clean enough, you can use it in many other processes, and this is what we're trying to help companies to do.